Hey everybody, welcome back. We're gonna work on the camper some more today. Taking a little break from the kitchen area here. We've been working on that, but I'm gonna take a little break from that to work on something else. So we've got the Dometic Fantastic fan in here, which works really good. I really like that fan. Moves a lot of air, but in the summer, like it is now, it is hot. And even with the fan, it's still hot. When you put 6 people in this thing and go to sleep at night, and it's been hot all day, it's hot. It just is. So we're going to try to build an air conditioner. Back when I originally started all this, there was a company that made a portable AC that had an intake and an outtake. So you had 2 hoses. You could bring that thing along, set it down, hook it up to your intake and your outtake, and circulate and air condition your air in your trailer. That company's quit making them. So that was my plan and how I was going to do an air conditioner on this, but they don't make them anymore, so I can't do that. So that kind of limits my options. I could put a rooftop unit on it like the fan is, but I don't want to put a rooftop unit on this because that will take up some of my roof space and I'll have this big unit up there, and I don't want that, and I don't want to carry the unit around all the time. So I'm leaving the roof empty for carrying canoes, kayaks, and probably one day a rooftop tent. But, so I still want an air conditioner, but where am I going to put it? Well, the cheap option is to get a window unit, but I don't want a window unit sticking out of any of these windows. There's no way to make that nice and clean, and I want to be able to take the AC off for the 7-8 months out of the year where I don't need it, and then I just grab my diesel heater and I take it. So I want to be able to make it modular where I can take the heater or take the air conditioner. So the other option is a portable AC unit, which we have one that I've got for work that we've used it off and on, and it kind of works, but it's huge and it has to go in the climate controlled space. It doesn't sit outside, it sits in and then it vents out. So we've used that in this last summer and it works pretty well, but it takes up so much space and it's really heavy. So we're not going to go that route. So we're making something completely custom, and I have no idea if it's going to work. What we've got is a window unit. This is 6,000 BTU window unit I got. It's the smallest one I could find at Lowe's that had a remote. So we've got this, and then we've got some various hoses, and these are some dryer vent attachments, a soffit exhaust vent. So we got some various parts and pieces, and we're going to try to take this window unit and convert it into a portable AC that I can just pick up, throw into the toolbox or in the camper when we're going to take it out in the summer and we're going somewhere with power, and we'll have an AC unit that we sit outside ducked into the camper. So let's get started and see what happens. you can probably begin to see what the end goal is here. We're gonna have these two duct ports here and one down here. And this is gonna slide in here and create a divider to divide. This is our return air and this is our cold air. So I gotta go get my hole saw kit. I don't have it here, so I gotta go get a hole saw kit so we can drill these out. So we'll go get that and then we'll finish this up a little later. All right, I got my hole saws. So ready to get this. So we gotta build this divider piece in here, and I'm gonna build it at an angle. Something like that. So I need some pieces down the side here so that can be nice and flush. It'll be down inside of that. So got this one here kind of held up, got it kind of marked how I'm going to want it. So I'm going to try to get it cut and get a couple little braces in there. Just about like that. Probably.
Can you like make it where this can just be like right here? You can just like bend it down. This needs.
All right, so here's what we've got. This is our divider. So if we're cold side or return, I'm going to go through, I've got screws in this right now, but I'm going to go through and take it all back apart and glue all these boards and seams so all of this is in here really tight and snug. And then I'll have a few areas to put some foam gasket so that it's snug around the AC unit, and hopefully that will seal it up tight enough to force all the air through these holes. And I gotta take these and I'm going to glue them in here so that we've got the ports coming out the front like this. So we're gonna start gluing. I'm at least gonna glue these in, then do some tests, and then I'll take it all apart and glue everything together. So. All right, we're gonna let that set up and dry. Looks like it may come a brief shower on us anyway, so we're gonna take a little break, let that dry, and then we'll come back, do some testing, and then take it all apart and glue it all together. So that's what we'll do. All right, here it is all glued, or at least those pieces are glued in. I'm gonna take the sides all off now and glue them down. Instead of just having screws, I'm gonna glue them all down and glue it all together. All right, we'll let that dry overnight and come back to it probably tomorrow and do some more testing. So here's one of my ports. I've got to glue this in place, so I may do that. But I just unscrew it. Boom, hole right out the floor. So I can just drop that flex in and duct it right into the camper. I'm gonna put a second one right back, probably down in this corner down in here. I may put it over here, but I'm thinking over here, that way I've got a good cross draw when I'm running the AC, and you got the where it's pulling the air out and where it's blowing air in, so that it's circulating as well as it can. So I think I'm going to drill another hole right there. I think that's clear underneath to drill a hole and be able to drop another flexible hose out. So that's probably what we'll do, and that's how it'll work. But we'll let that dry, come back and test it maybe tomorrow. Alrighty, this thing is dry. Everything's glued together and dry. So I'm gonna put it on here, hook it up on the camper, and run it for a little while and see what it does. It's pretty hot in the camper right now. It's in the mid-90s outside. The camper's mostly in the shade, but partially in the sun, so it's pretty hot inside right now. I'm just gonna hook it up and run it and see what happens. It's not like just billowing cold air, but there's definitely cold air coming in. Oh, that feels good. I think this is gonna work. It'll be very interesting to see how it holds, how much it can actually cool in here, but just the circulation and pulling the humidity out will be huge. And I mean, it's putting cold air in here, so should work pretty good. We'll see. I've already got them ordered. I'm gonna put some inline fans into both of these, the intake and the outtake, to help the fan on the air conditioner and the heater. So basically this fan will be directional in, the fan on the one back here will be directional out, and then I can also use those just to get, airflow is the biggest challenge in this entire project, is dealing with humidity and airflow and temperature control, because that's a big part of the reason I wanted to do this over a tent with the kids, is temperature control. When you've got babies and young kids, it's very hard to have comfortable temperatures where they can take naps in the middle of the day, or just keeping it warm enough for them at night. So that's why I built a camper, for the most part, is to help with temperature control for the kids. So this is going to be big, but I'll add those inline fans, then we'll be able to use the air conditioner, then we'll have the heater in the winter, and of course we got the Dometic Fantastic fan. So the combination of all those, once it's said and done, should be able to give us any option we need or want and keep it relatively comfortable year round. So I think it's going to work. I'm going to come back in a little bit and see how much it's cooled off in here. All right, I've had it running for an hour and a half or so, quite a while now. It seems to have leveled out as far as what temperature fluctuation it's going to do in here at the moment. It has cooled it down some, not quite as much as I hoped. So I'm hoping that when I get the fans, it should be able to move the air better. It obviously doesn't, it's a window unit, so it's not really designed for this, so the fan in it really isn't that strong when it's blowing through this long hose. Probably shortening the hose will help, and adding an inline fan to help that airflow so that the fan in the actual air conditioner isn't doing everything. That will probably make a pretty big difference. I might have needed a bigger unit. This is a 6,000 BTU. It's one of the smaller ones you can get. There's some slightly smaller, but it's basically the smallest. So a bigger one would be better, but I didn't want to have to lug around a big one. I wanted it compact, so it's helping. We'll definitely use it. It'll work, and I think with the fans inline, it'll make a big difference. And I also don't have any of the insulating window panels in. Those make a huge difference keeping in the heat, so they'll do the same for the AC, because when the sun, which has been hitting some of these windows the whole time this has been running, when the sun hits those black windows, it really heats it up in here. So we gotta get the insulating panels in place, and then the fans, and we'll see how it does from there, and see if the unit's gonna be big enough or if we gotta do a bigger one. So successful, but hopefully got some improvements coming. So thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.